ask 183. After which I will ask Sister Smile to lead us in a short prayer.
I will sing
of
Jesus who dressed of me, for he left God runs above, and died on Calvary. I will sing of Jesus' love and his grace, my heart shall breathe. He has died that I might live. I will sing his love to me. Quando vocês falarem nesse momento, você vai provar. Então, vocês vão falar de provar, você vai deixar. Se me liga na nossa cultura, então, uma vez, essa como você não confia. E tem você não que lembra, você deve preparar cheio, ele não se lembra, se mal usar. Culpa não change. Aí, culpa não, você não confia, é culpa não, é culpa não. Como você não confia, né? Fazer que não diga de novo. Você vai ter que realizar, por exemplo, os pessoas, né? Os pessoas, você sabe não decidir isso. Sabe, por exemplo, os pessoas assim, amém.
For our scripture reading this morning, I'll be reading my favorite text, Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. It reads as follows: Behold, he is coming with clouds, and every eye will see him, even they who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn because of him. Even so, amen. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his word now and forevermore. Amen. One of the things that I would like us to talk about this morning is the fact that we are waiting for the second coming of Christ, and part of waiting for the second coming of Christ is to prepare our hearts for his return. Not only preparing our hearts for his return, but we must look well after our bodies as purchased by God's blood. We should remember that a body, or we are souls. That is, there's a body and there's a breath of God in us. And those two, the breath of God and the body, when they come together, they form a soul. And it is very important for us to understand that a soul is a living being. A soul is not a body. A soul is a body plus the breath of God. Now, why is this important? It is important because if we understand that, we'll be able to look well after our own bodies, because we'll know that this is part of God's creation. We are a creature. We are creatures created by God. And today I just want us to talk briefly about Adventist Health Mission. The Adventist Health Mission is based basically on biblical anthropology, which actually says what I've just said, that we are a combination of a breath from God and a body forming a soul. Number two, the Adventist health message is also based on God's laws, which say, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt do this and that and that. But what I want to concentrate on this morning is the spirit of prophecy. Where does the spirit of prophecy come in? We know from Revelation 19:10 and Revelation 22:9 that a church of God has got to have a testimony of Christ. And in our case, we have the spirit of prophecy written by Ellen White, and that actually tells us more about what should happen. Ellen White, we all know, she lived for 87 years. At the age of 9, she got injured when one came threw a stone at her, and she fell sick. And she was in grade 3 basically, and she stopped there. But the wonders in the health ministries that she's actually come up with are really, really fascinating. There are wonders that even scientists today are beginning to discover. Now, what is the importance of the health message? Why is the spirit of prophecy so important? And how is it related to the Adventist health message? It is important because the aim of God or the purpose of God is that we should not suffer. No human being created in God's image should suffer. That's one thing that is very important. Number two, God wants to purify His church. And this is not a negative statement. It is, we should understand that as soon as we live according to God's law, then we'll be healthy, we'll be free of diseases. And this is exactly how God will purify His church, because we'll see the benefits of living according to God's law, and then we'll be healthy, and then we'll be fine. Now let's look at the content of the Adventist health message. What is contained in the Adventist health message? The most important thing is that the health message contains the entire lifestyle of any human being. For instance, it tells the mother what to eat and how to behave when the mother is pregnant. It tells the mother that you should breastfeed your baby minimum of 6 months, maximum of 2 years, so that your baby is disease-free and immunity is quite okay for that baby. Again, we must remember that there's what we call Houghton effect, which actually says that if you are malnourished when you are inside your mother's womb, then in life you will suffer diseases like high blood pressure, like cardiovascular illnesses, and many. I'm sure this you have seen where babies were growth restricted intrauterine, or they were born as very small babies, but in adult life they become obese and they have all these kinds of diseases. This is the content of it. Again, one of the contents of the Adventist message is to say, look, the body and the mind are connected, and therefore we need to understand that. Many of the diseases that we suffer are as a result of brain problems, depression, and many. The other content, important content, is to understand that we as Adventists, we should promote healthful lifestyle. Ellen White, I like her because she says, a minister who is able to understand and cure illnesses will be twice as successful as any other minister. In other words, it is very important for our ministers and our teachers, gospel workers, to understand that we have to be Adventist health medical missionaries. Now, there are very wrongful practices that we normally do to promote health message. One of them is to critique people. We should not be critical of one another when we promote health message as health workers. Secondly, fanaticism. Very, very important that we don't become fanatics. You know, fanaticism says you put more emphasis on this one than the other. Many times we emphasize no meat more than any other doctrine. Discipleship. Many of us think that discipleship of Christ is only seen in Adventists when they don't eat meat. It doesn't mean that. We have to be healthy, we have to balance everything. These are some of the methods that we should not be using to promote Adventist health message. The most important methods of promoting Adventist health message are education, education, educate. You need to educate people. Remember, knowledge alone cannot do anything. But if we are knowledgeable and we educate people with love, then people will follow the Adventist health message. So in whatever we do, we must have love. Let us not, when we eat and we see somebody eating meat, be critical, and even to an extent of quoting that among those who are waiting for the coming of the Lord, meeting it will be done away, flesh will cease. That's not the way. Let's have an approach. Let's have a way of talking to one another. It is very important that we promote healthful living with love, because anything where love is not based, that is not truth at all. So it is very important, and I hope that you understand that when we advocate health message, why do we have to do it? We are God's creatures, we are souls, living beings. We must understand the purpose, we must understand the content, we must understand the appropriate methods of health promotion and inappropriate methods of health promotion. But more than anything, love should characterize everything that we do. And more than anything, we need to be exemplary. People will get attracted in what we do, right, without us talking, and then they will follow. May the Lord get a blessing to our understanding and the reading of His word now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
We will have maybe the last stanza of that hymn, and then